Hello everyone, Merry Christmas and Happy Wednesday. I prefer Happy Wednesday. It's more of a Wednesday to me than it is Christmas. I've got my chocolates, got a couple of selection of chocolates here, got my Coke. Soft drink, I should add. It's a soft drink. Just to be clear what kind of Coke it is, I've got on my desk here. Let's get that cleared up before the channel taken down. That's a very important part. It's my soft drink. I've got my chocolates, and they're sort of Christmassy chocolates. You know, I've got my big purple one, but this is one of my favourite chocolates. Right, it's one of my favourite chocolates. But I only eat them at Christmas. Some other people must know what I'm on about here. Does anyone else only eat these at Christmas? Although they're available all year round, but I tend to only eat them at Christmas time. Strange, isn't it? It's a bit like After Eights as well. After Eights is almost like a Christmas chocolate. Weird things. Anyway, this stream, it's going to be a bit of a mess. I've not really got much of a schedule, if you like. I've got a little video from Gonzo to play at some point, and I'll get that done soon. And Charlie will be joining me halfway through. I do know how during the cup of tea with myself and Gonzo, we talk to the live chat and take questions and read out comments. Me and Charlie are going to do that, and it's the first time I'm going to be doing it with Charlie, apart from the 24-hour live stream. So if you've got any questions, West Ham or non-West Ham, get them in, and me and Charlie will go through them towards the end. But I'm relying on the live chat here to help me along for the next half hour or so on this Christmas day for you guys that are bored, got nothing to do. Thanks for joining us. I thought I'd update you with the West Ham news first, because people aren't on social media. Obviously, you know the Crystal Palace stuff because you've listened to the preview, correct? If you don't know it, then you need to go watch the preview, because the news hasn't really changed from that. As for the transfers, the only player that's been linked away that hasn't been linked so far is Yarmolenko. Apparently, we could be selling Andrei Yarmolenko in January transfer window to raise a little bit of cash. Because some other rumours are suggesting that we need to sell before we can buy in January, which is slightly concerning. We've also been linked with a centre-back over in Spain, Nunes I think his name is, for about £24 million. That's his release clause. So it ties in with the Diop rumours, I suppose, but I don't think there's anything in it. I think it's just a journalist domino effect, isn't it? Is that what you call it? One journalist makes up a rumour about Diop, and another journalist thinks, so I'm going to use that rumour to create my own rumour. It's a journalist domino effect. So that's what I'm putting in. People in the live chat, thank you very much for joining us. Charlie's in there and he'll be joining me on the screen in a little bit. Francis is in there. Hello Francis. Connor, he's talking about Mario Kart and that. I don't know if he's got that or that's what he's been playing today. Charlie's commenting on said Mario Kart. Merry Christmas, Gravy Dave. Hello Neil, Mr. Thong, Femar. Thanks for joining us on the live stream. It's much appreciated today. David Arthur, Chris. I hope you're doing, Chris. I hope you're doing well. I know you've just come out of hospital, so I hope everything's going well with you and you're having a good day today as well. We've got the Gonzo video coming up in a little bit. Like I said, keep your comments coming in the live chat. Now, the one thing I was going to sort of discuss is, because I don't want to talk about it in the preview much because it's a bit of a downer. It's about, me and Charlie were quite optimistic in the preview, we're quite upbeat, quite confident, and it's been done to death, this topic. But it's the Pellegrini thing again. I did a preview for a Crystal Palace channel, and one of the questions was, what's the deal with Pellegrini? And I thought, well, no one really knows, but I think if we lose tomorrow against Crystal Palace, I think the same thing is going to happen again. We're going to be back to the middle of the cycle, which is the Pellegrini out thing will pick up pace and traction a little bit. The leaks, if you like, the unofficial official sources will then be chucking Pellegrini under the bus. And certainly that will continue if we get beat by Leicester. It will continue. But then we'll beat Bournemouth. I think we'll beat Bournemouth, by the way. I'm quite confident, regardless of what the result is tomorrow. Bournemouth they're a funny team, aren't they? But we beat them. I think we'll be back to where we are today. We beat Bournemouth. You can pick my little last 1 minute talk, pick it up and place it down on New Year's Day at night after beating Bournemouth, because it'll be if we lose the next game. It goes round and round and round again. So we've got Mr. Sheos says, who would you rather leave the club, Brady or Sullivan? It's a funny one, that. I always find that one funny because a lot of people say Brady straight away, but I'll tell you something, and this will probably be a little bit unpopular. I would be scared of a West Ham without Karen Brady. While Sullivan and Gold are the chairman, I must make that clear. While they are still here, I would actually be scared of what West Ham would be like without Karen Brady, because while she's got her critics and her deserved critics, she runs the club. She's the one that's really doing all the business deals and stuff. And I know you could replace Karen, someone would come in and stuff, but it would just concern me a little bit because she's the real brains at the club. Gravy Dave said he had 5 pigs and blankets. That's the favourite part, isn't it? That's got to be the favourite part of the Christmas dinner. When Charlie comes on, we'll maybe talk Christmas dinner. We're both a bit of a foodie. So the West Ham, Rob, do we as a club need to put more effort into creating a club ethos instead of buying players and expecting said players to change the club? I think they go hand in hand, to be honest with you, Rob. I think buying players is part of the ethos, isn't it? Surely that's, I suppose you're talking identity then, aren't you? The players fit the identity. But I get what you're saying. I do think there needs to be some sort of structure in the club. But when I did the Diop video, my main point there, which I probably didn't emphasise that was my main point enough, is the fact that I just think we need to stop being scared of selling players. We've just got this fear factor as a fan base, as chairman. Whenever a player or one of our main players gets linked away with the club, everything just goes into panic mode. It's almost like the end of the world is coming. And you look at Leicester have to be the inspiration for this as to how you do it right. Or Spurs. When Spurs sold Modric and Bale, they utilised their money correctly. I mean, not every player they bought was good, but Eriksen was their top player that they purchased with all that funds, and it's gone well for them. And when this Diop thing comes about, and I was actually surprised how many people in the video of that comments, how many people were willing to sell Diop, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I do not think it's a bad thing. I just thought people would maybe be a bit, can't sell Diop, especially to Spurs and stuff. I can see the live chat. I know someone said to Charlie, can you ask about the live chat? I can see it. I'm reading it right now. I can see all your comments. Don't you worry. Keep them coming, so we'll do that one. Ruben says, would you take Deulofeu? Probably not. I don't know. He's a good player, but I think he's a good player at Watford. Just leave him at Watford. He's not someone I've been desperate to have at West Ham. He's not. I watch some clubs. Everton I watch and I look at the Charlison. I think, I really wish we had him. I look at Lucas Dean. I think, I wish we had him. But there's other players at Everton like Michael Keane, Seamus Coleman, now Sigurdsson. Before I would have had a different opinion. I look and think they're damn good players, but leave them at Everton. I wouldn't want them to come to West Ham, for example. Ruben's also saying Matt Sannins. Definitely, Matt Sannins is an easy one. IronX1, can you name 3 managers who you would be happy with to replace Pellegrini? No, I can't, because I'm not an expert in managers in European football, but I can tell you something. I can't name 3 managers that are British that I would be happy to replace Pellegrini with, and that's the problem, I think, because when I did my Pellegrini out video, a lot of people were sort of surprised by it, and I probably didn't make a good enough point in the sense that one reason I'm not Pellegrini out, I still am in, is because of who might come in to replace him. When I did a cup of tea with Gonzo there, and I said to him, your option isn't Pellegrini or Eddie Howe. That's not your option at the minute. Your option isn't Pellegrini or the upcoming manager from the Bundesliga. That is not your option. Your option is Pellegrini or Moyes, Pellegrini or Chris Hughton. That's your options, really. And when you put it like that, that's when people start saying, well, hang on a minute, I'd rather just keep Pellegrini, and that's what I'm trying to get across. Ruben saying Nagelsmann, I don't think you're getting him anymore. I think if we ever were going to get him, it was when he was at Schalke, but he's topped. I read a thing last week saying his youngest ever manager would be top at the Bundesliga at Christmas time. So he's doing all right. He's living up to his hype. What is he, 38 years old? Charlie, I'm looking at you in Skype window here. Is he 38 or something? He's young anyway. He's something like 38 years old, so he's certainly doing it over there. But Erik ten Hag's the one I would, if I had a number one choice, the Ajax manager, because I think he could be bribed. I don't think he'd be coming to West Ham for footballing reasons, but if you waved a big wage at him, I do wonder if he might think, you know what, I'll have a little bit of that. Kent Hammers is talking about Benrahma and Watkins of Brentford. Both good players. They're both definitely worth a punt. They're sort of the Mopai thing, aren't they? They're doing it for Brentford. Neil Mopai, who we were heavily linked with, I would have liked to have taken a punt of him in the summer. Brighton have taken a punt and it is working out for him. I think he's done fantastic at Brighton so far. And you do just wonder if you take that Ajeti money, add 7 million to it or something, you could afford Neil Mopai. And that's when you get what you pay for in football sometimes, don't you? When you pay 8-9 million, you're going to have to take a punt on someone in European football that's young, because you ain't getting a proven Premier League player for that money unless he's 32 onwards. Whereas Brighton took a less of a punt because he'd done it in Championship, so you know he can do it in England, and that's sort of half the battle, really. The question isn't can you do it in the Premier League? Well, it is, but it's not can you do it in England. Yes, he can. It's can you step up to the Premier League? And that's a completely different question to a Jetty, which is can you do it in England? And that's when you have to take into consideration adapting to a different country, a different lifestyle, and that. You know Neil Maupay can do all that. He's doing it at Brentford, or he did at Brentford. So Brighton, the only question Brighton was asking of their purchase was can you step up? Whereas our question to Jetty was can you adapt? Can you live in England? And stuff like that. And it's two completely different things. And for the £8 million price tag, well, it just shows what West Ham put a price on it, don't you? You know, we now know that West Ham put an £8 million price tag on the player adapting. We obviously think it's not worth the £8 million, whereas Brighton think it is worth £8 million. We'll have that. And only one club in the minute are happy with their decision. Vinny is saying we need another director of football for the Championship, lower leagues, and Scottish League. Pellegrini's team are not looking for the next Antonio or Cresswell for such leagues. I mean, that's a fair point. I know we're linked to Bowen of Hull, but it's not exactly a discovery, is it? I mean, you look at the top goal scorers in the Championship, he's there. It doesn't take much. You can. I remember something Jack said to me when we spoke 2.5-3 years ago now, when he first, because we were sort of helping out with the West Ham ladies media and that, and it was sort of transition period between that, West Ham ladies, West Ham women, because the club changed it to women. When I was speaking to Jack about and he was in the new role at this point, and he said to me one thing that surprised him was how hard it was to find information. And he used an example that it was easier to find out the top goal scorer in the Mexican second division. Now, I'm pretty sure we sent a player from the Mexican second division that season. I can't remember who it was, but I think we took a punt. Was it Caleri? Was he in the Mexican second division? Where was he from, Charlie? Was he from Mexican second division? I'm sure we took a striker from the Mexican league. Ener Valencia? It was Ener Valencia. So we took Ener Valencia from the second division in Mexican football. He was a top goal scorer, I think. And he basically said it was easier to find out his stats than it was to find out the top goal scorer in women's football in England. And I always thought, okay, that's a funny point. Now, it just comes back into this. It's easy to find out what Bowen's stats are. So you Google Championship strikers, there is. But what Vinny's alluding to there is I've seen that there's a couple of clubs. I think Spurs is one of them. They're looking at Jude Bellingham, who is playing for Birmingham City at the minute, and he's playing weekly. He's 16 years old. Just 16 years old, playing in the Championship. He's got got more first team appearances than Conor Coventry now. And Conor Coventry is 4 or 5 years older than him. But it would take us another 2 years to discover him, despite the fact he's right in your face. It's just looking in the right places at the right time, innit? And we do the right places wrong time, usually a year or two late. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking for a minute. I'm going to get Gonzo up on the screen, and when Gonzo disappears, I'm going to be joined by Charlie, and we're going to continue interacting with the live chat for the next 15-20 minutes. Keep your questions coming, as well as your comments. If you've got any comments like Vinny, he didn't ask a question, he threw a comment out there. It's an interesting one. But if you want to get away from West Ham, let's do it. Let's spice up a little bit. It is Christmas, we might not enjoy it, but it means that there's no rules. Let's have a little bit of fun. Anyway, I'm going to disappear. Here's Gonzo.
This is take 2 because I pretty much knocked the Christmas tree over during my first take. But why am I stuck in a Christmas tree? Well, it's better than being stuck on top of one, which is a very painful experience. But seriously, folks, I just wanted to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. To thank you all for watching all the Hammers Chat videos, for commenting underneath, for well, even when you do the rude names and make me say rude names, like you, Isaac, very naughty boy. I want to thank you for that as well. Thank you for accepting all the Hammers Chat stuff in the spirit in which it's intended. It's not meant to be too serious. Have a lovely Christmas. Eat lots. Make merry. Watch lots of rubbish on telly. I'm sure you will. And hopefully it's 3 points for West Ham tomorrow. And a metaphorical 3 points for yourself and your family. Lots more Hammers Chatterish content coming up in 2020. Enjoy your day, folks, and I'll catch up with you very, very soon.
There you go, that's Gonzo's video for you. Hopefully you could hear it, because I can't hear it. It doesn't work like that through this, so I can't hear if you can hear it. No one's saying that I can't hear it, so I hope it worked. That's the first time I've tried to add a little video on this new software, so hopefully it's worked. Someone said,
I mean, we can all live in hope.
Gary just said, hi, Gonzo. Gary, Gonzo's not here. That was just a clip. It's just me and Charlie, I'm afraid. You're stuck with just us two. Hammer 1999. Do you watch podcasts? And if so, which one? Charlie, do you watch any?
A lot. It depends what you're talking about. If we're talking about football specifically, I listen to the zonal marking one from The Athletic. I listen to Tifo. I listen to the Football Ramble. They're the ones I listen to most. There's other random ones I'll dip into every now and then, but outside of that, I listen to a lot, especially wrestling nonsense.
I tend not to listen to many. I watch a few YouTube videos, and to be fair, actually, I was going to say this at the end, but I'll say this now. But the reason I was going to leave it to end is so you don't disappear right now. But because I know that a lot of people just don't like Christmas. They hate what's on the telly, although there's one good show coming up tonight at 8:30. But Gavin and Stacey, tune into that BBC One. But a lot of people just don't like Christmas telly. So in the description below, I've put I think there's 5 videos. I put a link to 5, and it's from 5 different people as well. Now they're all bigger than us except one of them. The other four channels, they're not unknown people. They're big people on YouTube. But I'm aware a lot of people watching this only tune in for West Ham YouTube, if you like. So the people below are not West Ham YouTube. There's Jack Mate, who's my favourite YouTuber. He's been on the show before doing a preview. He's a funny bugger. He is a really funny bugger. His videos there. He's a West Ham fan as well. And he's followed by another West Ham fan called Spencer Owen, who's done a video on Team of the Decade. So that link's there as well. We've got Robbie Knox, who's a friend of Jack Mates, who's a really funny character, who used to be a Soccer AM. You may recognise him from Soccer AM. He's got a really funny tash, though. His tash distracts me in videos. I can't stop staring at it, thinking he should get rid of it. But he's there. There was someone else, James Alcott. Me and Charlie like James Alcott, who does football videos as well. And also Canatown Lion, the only channel that's slightly smaller than us. You know who Canatown Lion is. He's got his own channel now. So there's a link to the video. So if you want to keep watching YouTube, you don't know what to watch, there's some recommendations for you. Anyway, people keep commenting on your lack of hair.
I know.
But what they're not commenting on.
I've been getting messages. It's worse in real life because you don't get the comment. You just get a confused look.
Do you know where you're...
I went to meet my family for Christmas, obviously. They came down to London and I went to meet them at the station. And they genuinely didn't recognise me for about 5 seconds. And as I walked towards them, they looked visibly scared. So that was fun. It's a big topic when it happens, I guess.
Important question. I can't remember who asked it. They've disappeared up now, but... Do you have Yorkshire puddings for your Christmas dinner?
Oh yeah, I mean yeah.
Absolutely,
yeah, okay.
100%.
Of course. I have them outside of it as well, like as a treat, very, very occasionally. But it can't. To be honest with you, if I say I went to your house and you're like, Charlie, I've made you Christmas dinner. I mean, you wouldn't because you're you. But if you had and you handed it to me and there was no Yorkshire puddings on it, I would throw it in your face.
I don't think you would, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't.
I think you might comment and then say it could have done with some Yorkshire puddings, but I think that's as far as you would go. I don't think you've got the balls to throw it at me, to be honest with you.
I mean, I haven't got the stomach to throw it at you. Is maybe a better way of putting it.
I'll tell you what you do have to throw at me: a ridiculously paper hat on your head. I mean,
yeah. What about it?
It's.
Well, you get it from the cracker, innit?
I know where it comes from. I know you're not purchased it.
Christmas,
Jesus, but it looks a bit daft. That's all. It's like you've got rid of the beard, which is like spruced you up quite a bit, right? But you've replaced it with something equally as stupid on the top of your head.
Yeah. So what I figured out is that because obviously like lack of this and lack of this, people get shocked by it. So if you do something stupid, that takes away from the initial shock, and so they don't comment on it. So, for example, when I went to my friend's house the other day, I wore these, and I didn't
take them off now.
They didn't get any comments. See, it's just the way you do it. It's the way you do it. But
I would not wear them in public, to be honest with you.
To be fair to you, I put them on directly outside the door. I wasn't wearing them on a tube.
Do you know how you got stopped? But sometimes you would get at doors. You would maybe get looked at as if you were a terrorist. You know, when you wear your beard and your rucksack.
Yes.
If you wore those glasses, I think you might get stopped for being a nonce. I mean, I'm just putting it out there.
They are from when I was 10 years old, if that helps.
It doesn't help your case. it helps mine, if anything. It probably helps my case, to be honest with you.
Maybe a little bit.
Anyway, but hopefully you've seen it on the West Ham YouTube channel. It's quite, to be fair, the media on the YouTube channel recently, they've been putting out some good stuff. Fair play to them. The media team is completely like two different worlds apart. On Twitter, they're a bit daft. They sometimes put out tweets you think, nah, that's not it, mate, and they have to delete them. But their YouTube stuff's been good. Anyway, they did a video yesterday, Fredericks, Rice and Martins, and it's called 2 Truths, 1 Lie. It's pretty much what it says on the tin. Someone says 3 stories, 2 are true and 1 is a lie. So what we're going to do, Charlie's going to give us 3 stories. And the people on the live chat have to guess which one is the lie, okay? I will have the final decision, but I'm going to be very much swayed by the people in there. Just say option 1, 2 or 3, or be very clear which one you're saying is the lie. I want the lie, not the truth, the lie. Charlie, can I have story number 1, please?
You can. So, I'm just looking through. So I've come up with a little list to decide which one. Let's go with. Okay, so when I was a kid, I was super. I'm going to expose myself a little bit here. I was really into trains, like big into a way, like anything to do with trains. When I was a kid, I was super into. I had like little model rail sets, everything, and that all stemmed from my love of Thomas the Tank Engine. Right, I couldn't get enough of Thomas the Tank Engine. My mum used to buy me VHS of Thomas the Tank Engine just to shut me up. And then when I was about 10, I went to Yorkshire during Christmas to see some family, and I met Thomas the Tank Engine. And there's a picture of me, just the most excited you've ever seen me.
Okay, interesting.
That's option 1.
Okay, can I get option 2?
So option 2. So this is slightly after Christmas, so I'll try to keep these all Christmassy themed,
yes.
but it involves snow.
Okay.
Because obviously in the UK it doesn't get cold enough during December to snow, but it does during February. And what would happen is at my school, my secondary school, when it snowed, they used to basically they would wait for a long time to see how many children turned up. If enough of them turned up, then school would go ahead. If they didn't, they would just go, school shut for the day and everyone would go home. So we would all wait in this playground, which had a balcony above it where the teachers would stand and watch the children during lunchtime, break time, whatever.
That's where you go now with them glasses on.
I don't know what you're talking about. So when we got there was like a complete. I used to get there early to play football with my friends. We used to get to school about half an hour early, and it was a complete blank white snow like canvas because it'd been snowing all night. This was February, and essentially the more children turned up, it just turned into a giant war zone of just like snowballs going everywhere, just the whole thing. It was just absolute chaos, and the teachers were taking longer and longer to decide whether they wanted school to go ahead or not. And then eventually one of them came out to either, I don't know, tell someone off or to tell us school's going ahead or not going ahead or whatever. And they were on this balcony that was raised just above the playground. And I shouted to my friends to throw the snowballs at the teacher, something along the lines of get him. I can't remember exactly what. So we started it, but then everyone else in the playground started as well, pelting this teacher. But obviously some people weren't just doing snow, they were putting stones in the snowball. And it ended up hospitalizing the teacher.
Can I get your third story, please?
Yeah, option 3. So again, because my family live in Yorkshire, or some of them at least, we once had a big, like family. What do you call them when like even your extended family will get together and have like a big thing for like
a get together?
I guess, yeah. I don't know what you call it, a reunion or something. I don't know what you call it because I hadn't met loads of them because it's like my great cousin or whatever. I hadn't met half of them because they live up north and I live down south. It's just not a thing that happens. And we were staying in this, I can't remember where it was, but I wish I could remember, but this farmhouse that was just outside whatever city it was. And there was, again, because this was the middle of winter, it was all completely snowed under, and there was this giant hill that me and my cousins, who I do know very well, we were sliding down on a toboggan thing that the owners of the farmhouse had. And then the next morning, I really excitedly wanted to go and do it again, and no one was up at that point. So I went and got the toboggan and went over to the hill because I was like, cool, I'm going to go ride down this hill by myself. And when I got there, I didn't know, but that hill led on to another farm, which was just grazed by goats and sheep. And there was one specific goat that was standing at the gate, who basically didn't want to let me in. Now, unbeknownst to me, my entire family was standing there at the windows watching me staring at this goat for like I was there for about a minute trying to decide whether I was going to risk it. I ended up jumping the gate and the goat chased me, so I ran away with the toboggan in hand and ended up having to slide down the hill to get away from said goat. The farmer said afterwards that he wouldn't have attacked me, but that's like when an owner of a dog says it's not going to bite. I don't entirely trust that.
Can I just say, I can tell you've not watched the video yesterday because you're only meant to give like a 2-sentence story, not a
Oh, sorry.
20-minute one.
I apologise.
Anyway, the lie child decide which one's a lie. There's a couple of conclusions already being drawn, and no one's really agreed, unfortunately, so that's a bit difficult. I've got one question. Who lives in Yorkshire?
What specifically? Is part of my family, or do you want specific relations?
Just give me 2 relations that live there.
Okay, so my granddad is originally from Yorkshire. He's now moved down south, but it's his brother who lives there now currently. And his brother, but him and his daughters and sons, but I don't know what they're technically related. I don't know what their name is related to me, if that makes sense. But it's my granddad's brother.
Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna draw a conclusion. The group chat thinks number 2 is a lie. I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna go with the majority. They're saying number 2 is a lie, which is chucking snow at the teachers. I personally would have said number 1 because you've never mentioned family in Yorkshire to me, but I've got a different perspective. So they're going with number 2. So story number 2 is a lie. What one is a lie?
So
no, just
yeah, they're right.
Yay!
It did happen, but he wasn't hospitalised.
No. They were right. They've got you. That is true.
He just wasn't hospitalised.
They mugged you.
He was in a lot of pain the next day, but he wasn't hospitalised.
They mugged you right off. Anyway, we're going to start wrapping this up soon. One person, to be fair, Ironix just said farmers don't leave goats outside in bad weather. They must have done it.
Well, his farmer clearly did not care.
That's not great that we've just discovered that one was true, unfortunately. One thing I just want to add though is in Gonzo's clip, he basically said, obviously thank you for the support and stuff. He just said that in 2020 we've got things planned and things are increasing and stuff. Hopefully you've noticed sort of a small content increase from us on Hammer's Chat recently. We do have a few things planned for after the new year. So between Christmas and now, and even leading up to Christmas, as close as yesterday and the previous day, we've been sort of trying to get ready for it all. You know that mugs are coming out. We've got some mugs designed. 1 or 2 have been designed and they're looking good. Just got to get mock-ups and stuff and then get them made and stuff like that. So we've got lots of things different changing. Anyway, West Ham tomorrow. Charlie, you predicted 2-0 in the preview. You sticking with that? You still feeling 2-0?
Yeah, I am. I don't know why this faux sense of confidence has come over me.
Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. We might have a build-up show, which will be at 2 PM. I'm not 100% sure. You'll have to find out tomorrow. But we'll definitely have a review, though, straight after full time. It's obviously on Prime, on Amazon Prime, so I'd imagine our stream will be fine for people. Right, okay. That's just ruined it, innit? He's just absolutely ruined it. Anyway, thank you for joining us on this. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you've had a good day, and if you don't like Christmas, keep smiling, keep pretending you're enjoying it. We've got our day tomorrow, Boxing Day, the food, the football, the King George. It's all happening tomorrow, and we'll be here tomorrow as well. Join us then, catch you in a bit. Look after yourself. Take care.
Merry Christmas.